Hey guys, welcome to Path of Exile. Today we're going to be playing the new Necropolis League. I've played Path of Exile for some time. Personally, I like to think I'm alright at the game. I'm no Zizzerin or Steel Mage by any means. Those are two pretty well-renowned and respected people in the Path of Exile community. And I've really just played in my free time, but I think it would be pretty enjoyable to play it with you guys too. I've already started a character on this league actually. I was debating making a new one for this video, but I think I'm gonna go with my old one. Just because I've already started. And we're gonna be starting in Act 4. Now, I know some people might be upset that I'm not starting at Act 1 with you guys, but in all reality, I've never done a video before, and I didn't think I was going to be doing it with the same character, but stashes carry over, and I didn't want to have a bunch of stuff in my stash that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't started my first character already, and whatnot. And yeah, I got an Exalted Orb drop in Act 4, which is actually pretty rare. But anyways, I left off in the Crystal Veins going up to Malachi. So I think for this episode, I will probably finish this, probably get to the Act 5 town, and do my bestiary and my mining encampment with Nika. So let's get right into it. I believe I need to kill Calm next. Yep. And this league mechanic is actually pretty cool. Personally, I think it's a little slow having to go from instance to instance, and I think the annoying thing for me is I always end up missing the lantern when I'm trying to go in. Oftentimes I'm just trying to rush and click the door, and when I'm going to click it, I don't click on this lantern icon. But I've never really had any modifiers that are super nasty yet. Granted, I'm really early in the game, but I can say, as somebody who's never actually hit level 100 because I'm a loser, I do really like the increased experience modifiers on these. It makes leveling in the campaign really easy, and it means that I don't need to feel worried about rerunning an instance. And yes, I know I'm not doing hardcore, I'm doing softcore. Maybe I'll do hardcore at one point, but honestly, I find softcore more fun just because I am not a pro at this game. I like to think I know what I'm doing, and to an extent I do, but in all reality, I probably could not last more than a couple tiers into maps on hardcore without losing my character. And in order for me to get better, I'd have to do that over and over again, and I don't really have the time to do that yet. Now, something cool about this explosive arrow build is I've never actually done an explosive arrow build before. I've done a lot of builds over my time in Path of Exile. I think I started in Talisman League, so I'm not like a started in the very beginning person, but I definitely started earlier in the Path of Exile timeline, I like to think. Yeah, so Talisman was my first league, and from there I've learned to follow build guides. I've attempted to make my own. I made an Ice Crash build at one point, but I'm gonna be honest, it really wasn't that good. So I've kind of just stuck to the build guides made by other people and then modifying them slowly as I feel is necessary. I like to put my own little touch on them sometimes. Granted, that varies heavily depending on what build I'm doing and what items I find. I'm not a peak currency grinder, as in I don't use the magic find strats. I don't grind things to the absolute maximum in the most time efficient manner. I just kind of play the game and have fun, and as I find divine orbs, I'm just spend those. I don't really grind them. I kind of grind essence to craft things, but I'm mediocre at crafting at best. I'm definitely not a master. Most of the crafting techniques I've learned are actually from Zizzerin's tutorial videos and another YouTuber, Local Hole, who's a little smaller, but definitely makes some quality content if you're interested in crafting Path of Exile items. And if you hear squeaking in the background during this, I have a very decrepit folding chair that I'm playing on while I'm playing this game, so you might be hearing me squeak around in it. I broke a bar off of it, actually. I don't know how it happened, but I think over time, just wear and tear on the chair from me leaning in it, the bottom bar between the two bottom legs actually broke off, and I had to throw that in the recycling. One thing I like about this league mechanic is the mechanics that you can get from the league mechanic that are positive, like increased quantity or increased experience gain. I like how they appear in yellow on the monsters, so I'm not left guessing which one it is based on the name, because I don't really pay attention to the name of the effect when I'm choosing it. I just kind of pick it because I see the cool numbers and the effect. So the fact that they're highlighted yellow is quite nice. I think I've always been really appreciative of how easy GGG is with the community. I mean, I've never actively participated in advocating for a specific change, really, but I'm always impressed when somebody like Zizarin or the just members of the community reach out about something like, hey, Nemesis mods from Nemesis League are just too powerful and it's almost impossible to run tier 16 maps fully juiced without ripping. And just seeing that, you know, they're able to quickly react and tone things like that down or change things so that they fit with what the community is looking for without breaking the game is really neat, because I don't know a lot of games that do that. I'm also trying not to spam the minimap. I know when I play and I'm not recording, typically I have it out almost 24/7. Just because I play with the game under it like this, it's just easier for me. I know a lot of people who play Path of Exile do this too, just because I'm so used to needing to look where I want to go versus actually paying attention to what's happening. Also, just a corpse. But I'm gonna do my best to not have that in my face or in your face constantly. See, I just did the stupid thing with the lantern every time. I have to go back and take. I don't even care about that. Just got a level. Let's see. I do have Path of Building, but if I recall correctly, I just need to keep going left with the strength notes, so no need to open it. In case you don't know, Path of Building is a really helpful tool you can use with Path of Exile. It's a third-party extension or application, but basically it just lets you pre-plan your builds with a skill tree and items before you create a build. And one thing a lot of build creators do, like Zizarin, who created the build I'm following, is they will make a Path of Building for the build, so that way you can basically just download the build and see exactly what you need to do at each level and follow it so that your build turns out the way it's supposed to. That way you don't go down parts of the skill tree too early, and you're picking the right items for the right areas of the game. So it's a very nice tool to have, and if you don't use it and you're trying to make a build or follow a build guide, I highly recommend you either check to see if the creator uses Path of Building or try using it yourself to see what you can do. I bought a Quill Rain pretty early on, but it doesn't have the sockets I need, and I already have 2 4-links, so I'm waiting to use it just because I'm not going to be able to use Explosive Arrow if I don't wait. So until I get a better 4-link, or not even until I get a better 4-link, until I get more Jeweler's Orbs or a 4-link, I'm not going to be able to use it, which is unfortunate, because Quill Rain would make the campaign so much faster. But I'll just have to stick with a random grove but I got off a vendor for now. I have not found much of anything in terms of like useful items early on, except for when I was doing the splitting steel leveling part. With this build, you're supposed to play splitting steel up until you hit around the library in Act 3, or at least that's what I did. And I got really lucky with a 2-handed axe that dropped that had very high damage. Alright, it's time for Calm. This is the kind of a mini boss of Act 4. I don't think he's ever really been that hard, in all honesty. Then again, I guess none of the campaign bosses really are. I've been really keeping an eye out for Path of Exile 2, and the bosses in that game look so fun, and I'm super excited to play it. I did what everybody else did and just entered my email in to hope that I'm able to play in the beta. Alright, well, now that I'm finally done with that, we can enter the belly of the beast. Oh, I thought I clicked into the instance for a second. Alright. That's fine. Alright. Oh, shoot. I hate when strongboxes freeze you if you don't have anti-freeze. Oh. See, if the guys are smoking like that, that means you're going to be able to collect their corpse after they die, so when I'm running through, I know I'm just kind of loosely running through killing enemies, but if I see one that's got that smoke on him, I try to, like this guy right here. It's kind of hard to see on rare monsters, but I try to actually kill them because the corpses are for crafting with the League, and I mean, I haven't done very much with it yet because I'm so early in, but challenge complete. I only made these gloves in like Act, I don't know, 1, I think. So for Act 1, they're not terrible, but granted that's Act 1. You'd think I'd be able to get better than that by now. Beast level 2. Those are all fine. I don't really care. I'm looking for the bowels, if I remember correctly. Gotta go get Piety in the poop chute. Ow. I didn't even bother reading the strongbox. I probably should have looked to see that it was detonate corpses upon opening. Whoops. One thing that's nice about EA, though, Explosive Arrow, is that it's a pretty tanky build, actually, so, I mean, obviously I still have to be careful in terms of, like, watching what I'm doing, but generally speaking, this build is a lot tankier than most other builds I play, so, or I have played, I guess, so I definitely am enjoying the tankiness of it compared to things like, let's see, what did I even play last league? I don't even remember. Oh, I did, Bone Shatter, or, yeah. I really liked that build, but I was not a fan of how much damage the skill reflected onto you once you were frenzied up. So, I found myself actually, especially on bosses, I would end up doing a lot of damage, but I'd have to, like, run away for a few seconds and let my, meter up here, I forget what it was, the rage meter, whatever meter it was generating, I'd have to let it sit a little bit and go down, because if I got it up too high, eventually I started taking so much I ended up taking more damage than the boss was dealing to me, and I was basically just killing myself, and I died quite a few times on softcore to that. Here we go. This is Piety. This build's pretty nice for clearing. I've never been one to just like speed through everything. I know some people are all about being as time efficient as possible, making as much money as possible in mapping, but I personally like to take my time a little bit. I mean, to a reasonable extent, of course. I obviously like to not just like meander through maps, but
I knew I could rely on you.
But I enjoy just cruising, if you will. Crafting recipe. Let's see. Ooh. Orbit fusing, alteration chromatic. I am going to happily take fusings, and alterations are definitely going to be more useful in the long run, but I don't need them till later, and I think I would rather have chromatic orbs this early on so I can try to get the sockets I need on items, so we're going to go with fusings and chromatics. Alright. Now I need to go look around for a bunch of pieces of a dude. boss of this act is Malachi, and in case you don't know, before you fight him, you have to go around and find his 3 guardians, which are holding parts of his body. I think it's his... I don't even remember. His heart, his lungs, and... I don't know, his liver or something. We're going to be fighting Malagaro. He does chaos damage. I think my resists are capped right now. If not, they're pretty darn close, aside from chaos. Capping chaos resist is really important later in the game. I always find myself dying to chaos related stuff because I'm always kind of a slacker when it comes to getting chaos resistance. So I gotta make sure that I get enough of that. This league I'd really like to take out all the Ubers and because when I say I'm experienced, I mean I've played for a long time, but I've never actually beaten any of the Uber bosses, like the ones that you used to pick off of the skill tree, although now I believe you just get fragments from the new tier 17 maps. But yeah, I've never actually beaten one of those, I don't think. But this will be the league. I know it. I'm sure of it. It'll be easy. Easy peasy. I like the attack speed on my gloves. EA is all about attack speed, and frankly, I know they're pretty crappy gloves, but I think I'll stick with them just because they have attack speed, and they have more life too, even though they have a lot less armor, so just do that for now. I think Doager is considered the hardest of the bosses you can fight in Act 4 of Malachi's Guardians. I hate the stupid temporal chains aura ball. My least favorite thing in this game is temporal chains unless I already have like 30% increased movement speed. She does a lot of damage if she hits you, but easy to avoid. Say that as I get... There we go, we got the heart, the lungs. Oh, and then it's his entrails, that's right. That probably includes his liver. You're right, your fight will make for lovely material. Thank you. I don't see a liver, but I'm gonna assume that there's a liver in there somewhere. Yeah. Alright, so before we go fight Malachi, I think I'm just gonna go turn in my quest and empty my inventory real quick. Got a lot of stuff that I don't need.
What do you need?
Some chromatic orbs. Yeah, I've got a quill rain right here. I'm excited to use it, but I can't because I don't have enough sockets on it. Oh, we're one closer. I got this amulet early on. It's actually not that bad. Let's pass. This... I think I'm gonna hold off on that, but that's actually not a terrible ring.
What is it, Exile? Go, where you
I'm probably making a mistake by not using it. I'm sure somebody eventually somewhere will correct me and say, actually, that ring was very useful early on. But, whatever. I'm trying to remember if I get anything here. I don't think I do. Just take that one. Okay. Let's go kill Malachi, and then we'll be into Act 5.
What a pleasure to finally meet you.
I love the boss fights in this
You
game.
and I will create the most beautiful of nightmares together. Let us bathe you in blood, duelist, so that this world might be bathed in glory.
Now, Exile!
Die and be reborn. What?
Now, Exile!
That wasn't too bad. Easy peasy. Now we actually get into the meat of the boss fight. Not that... Well, I'm already in the meat, but you know what I mean.
Let us see if you truly understand what it means to be Nightmare. Nightmare is the true eternal. Why are you so in love with death?
That was pretty easy. Nothing really worth it. We're good. I don't remember if a portal opens up. I think one does. Yeah. I don't know. I have a pet peeve about opening portals and then not going back through them and just leaving them open in town. It just like bothers me. It makes me feel like I'm not finishing something, and so I try to just not if I can help it. Yep. And we are off to Act 5. I think since I just finished Malachi, I'll go into my bestiary and maybe poke around with Nico. Usually I don't touch him until I get to maps. I just leave the soul fight in there because he automatically digs down for you until you get to level 68, I think, which is tier 1 maps. So, but let's see. I know I have a couple of these. Jeweler's Orbs. Let's go for the body armor. Let's see what I can get. Should be pretty easy. I know this guy. There he is. Sometimes I forget that those guys have to drop down from the ceiling in the bestiary ring before you can actually shoot them. And I'll just kind of be standing around as if something's supposed to happen, when in reality I've got to walk around a little bit. Ooh. That is really lucky. Getting a tabula that early on is not common. That's really nice, actually. I was not expecting that. That's awesome. Okay. Well, I got a new body armor for myself temporarily. Wow. That's extremely lucky. Normally, I don't even use tabulas, but I will use that just because it's so early on. I always feel like I'm putting myself too at risk with the tabula, but I'm definitely going to use that. That's awesome. That's really rare, actually. That's all I can do. Alright. Wow. That almost never happens. Okay. Well, that also means that I actually have enough slot it's to use Quill Rain now too. Wow. One other thing you get from the League is I picked it up earlier and I don't think I said anything. Unless I didn't. I don't even think I picked it up today. But these All Flame Embers, you can put them on the area when you're modifying it with the All Flame. Or not the All Flame, the lantern that's not the All Flame, but is supposed to do the same thing from the Gravekeeper, whatever. Yeah, those have been pretty cool. I like that you can get the ones that give increased experience, and you can put them on top of the modifier for increased experience, so it's just even more. I don't know if it's, like, exponential or if it just adds on top of each other. I would assume it just adds, but I've noticed that it's actually pretty nice for getting XP. Also, Chaos Orb's quite nice. That's corpses. Who is doing that? You? It's you. For those of you who don't know, corpse exploding is like one of the most dangerous things in the entire game. They actually just made it more visible, and I actually am really noticing and appreciating that. But it used to be much harder to see, and so you'd be running around and all of a sudden you'd kind of hear something small, and I wouldn't be thinking about it, and all of a sudden I'd just explode and I'd be dead instantly. I wouldn't even know what killed me. So the fact that they changed it to be more noticeable when it's more powerful is nice. I was actually in I don't remember where it was, but I was in some instance, I think in Act 2 or 3, and there was a corpse exploder, corpse detonator, and when it went to explode the corpses, they were, I don't remember what they were, but they weren't mobs from that are normally in the instance. And when it went to detonate them, they were so bright, like my whole screen was lit up. I'm assuming that that would have meant they probably would have absolutely melted me if I had been hit by them. I actually don't know where I need to go. Let's see. Up. Gotcha. Up we go. But, alright. Portal to Act 5. Let's do it. That's fine. I think my goal is I'm just going to get to the Act 5 town and then I'll call it for this episode, if we will. But I'll be sure to play through Act 5 with you guys soon. Yeah. I used to always play a little game with myself in this area, and the next one too. Oh, that's nice. I'd always try to do everything in my power to keep the Karui rebels alive in this area. I don't know why. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter at all to keep them alive. But I was always trying to keep them alive just because, for whatever reason, I thought it was entertaining to try to do so. But... oh, this guy's got possessed by a ghost. That's not a bad one. Sometimes I think it's the rogue is the one that speeds you up, or speeds the enemy up, but the rogue ones sometimes can be nasty if they're already a fast mob and they're nasty as is. It just makes them catch up to you so fast and it makes it hard to fight them. And we are in Act 5. Awesome. Talk to these people, get my rewards. I need lightning and cold. What do I got here? Fire and cold. Let's get the lightning and cold ring. Here we go. Ooh, that's... I mean, it doesn't have the attack speed, but I don't think it actually needs it. That's actually... I mean, it doesn't have life, but it has energy shield, which is kind of life, just worse in my case. Honestly, I think I'll use that.
For freedom.
It has a lot of resists on it, that's very nice. That's garbage. Alright. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode, but... oh wait, what happened here? Ah, crap. I'll have to craft intelligence onto something real quick. Hold on. I didn't even realize that. Hold on. Go to my hideout here. Just gotta craft some intelligence onto something I have. Nope. There we go. There we go. Problem solved. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this is the first of many. I had a lot of fun making it, and hopefully you had a lot of fun watching. Have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.